Hello, everyone, and welcome to IFMA's monthly webinar series. My name is Starlin, and I am an account manager here at IFMA. I'm so excited for you to be joining us today. We have a wonderful presentation, and we plan on it being very interactive. So please, as you join, make sure you let us know where you are from in the comments. Our presentation today is going to be from procrastination to progress, and it's really geared to help you guys move through your credential. Now, if you've already completed your credential, please don't exit out of the stream. We want to hear from you as well. Your knowledge is very valuable to us as well as to those who may be going through this right now. So we want to hear from you as well. We have a wonderful panel today with over 30 years of experience with IFMA and in the adult education industry. And we want to help you guys as you move through these credentials. Here at IFMA, our mission is to advance the collective knowledge about facility management and help you as you innovate in your profession. And I work with Gail Head, who's going to be joining me now. She is our sales manager in the professional development department. And we both work together to get people into the right credential programs. And our jobs, once we do that, is to make sure that you're in the right spot. And then we have a fantastic training support team that can take over and help you move through the credentials. So, Gail, welcome. If you don't mind kind of just taking us through the credentials that we do offer so that people can get a really good idea, if they don't already know, what the best fit for the program would be.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Charlene. Glad to be here. So our credentials are globally recognized, and IFMA is ANAB accredited. So that means that we have a third party come in, review our course materials and final assessments to ensure anyone enrolled in any of our programs, excuse me, have the same experience as the next person enrolled in that same program. So, a quick high level overview of the training we offer. If you haven't been in facility management for very long, the essentials might be a really great starting point for you. If you are ready to move and earn a lifelong credential that covers the foundational competencies of FM, the FMP might either be the next step in your educational journey or it might be where you start. If you are looking for strategy to achieve your organization's sustainability goals, the SFP would be a good point to pick up and earn. Or if you want to show the world that you are the expert in your organization, our CFM certification would be a really good certification to obtain. So if you're again, like Starlin mentioned, if you're not sure where to start, we do have a couple of ways to figure that out with you. We have a career compass survey. So it's a quick 2-minute survey. You answer a couple of questions about your current role, where you want to be, and then that survey result comes back to our team, and then we will reach out to you. Or if you want to bypass that survey, you can actually reach out directly to us at corporateconnections at ifma.org. And again, somebody from our team is going to directly reach out to you to get your conversation started. Because we do want to make sure that you are placed in the right training program so that we can achieve your goals along there with you, right? So, just a quick overview of what we're hoping to cover today that you walk away with is to help you create a clear plan to moving forward and completing your training, to help you learn how to balance life's demands while enrolled in a training program because we're all adults here, right? We understand that life happens. And lastly, we do want to provide practical tips for beating that procrastination. I do want to mention with our accreditation, whenever you enroll in any of our training, there are enrollment dates and expiration dates, and we do have to adhere to those expiration dates. So, again, that just helps us maintain our accreditation. So, as Starlin also mentioned, this is going to be interactive. So, we do ask that you participate in our quick little survey. So, you can take a picture of the QR code or you can go to menti.com and enter the code here. And then we're going to invite Kim and Jessica to our presentation so that they can cover what those tips and tricks are and just really help you provide that game plan for completing your training. And
Yes,
then
and
once they come on screen, oh, go ahead, Starlin.
I was just going to say, as Kim and Jessica join us, Gail and I are actually going to be here, but we will be popping into the comments on the social media, the different social media platforms. So you may see us in LinkedIn or YouTube or wherever you are joining from. Please ask questions. Your interaction will make this experience so much more engaging and so much more valuable to everyone. You might have a question that a bunch of other people have. So please drop your questions into the chat. We're happy to take a look at them. There will be an interactive question and answer at the end. And with that, Kim, Jessica, please take it away.
Thanks so much, Gail and Starlin. Hi, Jessica. Thanks for joining us today.
Hey, Kim.
All right, everybody. Jessica and I are joining you from Houston, Texas. And Houston's the easiest way to say it because it's quite sprawling. So please do let us know where you're coming from. Pop any questions in there. But right now, what we'd like you to do is participate with us on a Menti poll. So
Mhm.
use the QR code, or you can go to the website and then enter 74136194. We are going to go ahead and, Jack, in the background, if you don't mind, let's go to our first question.
So, guys, as we are getting started in here and we have the goal of talking about from procrastination to progress, we want to know what some of the challenges are that you're facing as you are getting into or thinking about enrolling with one of our training programs. So, which one of these challenges are resonating with you? Whenever you're thinking about signing up or you're in the middle of it, what is the most common barrier that you are dealing with? Is it a lack of motivation? I see some votes coming in. Are you struggling to get started? Are there competing priorities? I know, gosh, as an adult learner and juggling all the different priorities in life, that team seems to be a big one. Or is there that self-doubt or failure, or fear of failure? Starting anything new can be really scary. I love getting to see y'all's answers coming in. I see a lot of competing priorities here. And we are just up and down and up and down. This is the first time, guys, that I'm getting to see one of these polls in action. So I love the participation. I love that we're getting to chat over this. It seems like we are kind of balancing out, and that
Yeah.
the majority of us feel like it's the competing priorities.
So if I may, Jessica, the one that resonates most with me is self-doubt or fear of failure. And I can speak from just personal experience. It was about 30 years after I was had graduated from college that I took my next school related course, and it was very intimidating because I'm used to being graded, if you will, on my performance reviews. I have an opportunity. I feel very knowledgeable in my current role, and I think a lot of our FMs feel that way as well. And then
Mhm.
when you know you're going to be learning new information that you will be graded on, and especially if you've made a financial investment, failure is not an option and it can be very scary. So for
Mhm.
me, self doubt, that fear of failure comes into play. But I think after going through this presentation with you, that you've got some really great tools, no matter which one of these people feel is kind of their most resonating issue, because I think maybe all of this comes into play for everybody as we go through a formalized training program.
Absolutely. And as the training support manager here at IFMA, I get to talk with people every day. And one of the things that pop up is time management. And so we have another question for you as we're getting all of these answers in. And this one has to do more with the specifics, right? The time management, the balancing of priorities. We want to just dig into that as well. And as a common barrier when we're trying to do this, is it because we have trouble prioritizing where we should put our focus? Is it the inability to stay focused, or maybe struggling to say no and set those boundaries that we need for study time? This is another question that we wanted to put out there and to see what y'all had to say on what maybe the biggest time management challenge is for our audience. Wow, that's a big one, balancing time and personal life. So again, that's relating back to having our attention pulled into a lot of different directions as we sign up for another thing for us to be involved in.
Yeah,
So
I
with
love
that, oh,
seeing
go
this.
ahead, Tim. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, I really, I'm with you, Jessica. I like seeing this in real time because I think it's indicative of facility managers. You guys know what needs to be done. You're really good at prioritizing, but how do you balance training with a personal life? And that personal life includes your job, your family, other things that are pulling on your time. So this is exciting to see. I don't think there's a wrong answer here, but it helps us understand where you are individually.
Absolutely. And as we're going through this, guys, and I know Starlin mentioned that if you're here and you have completed or you're almost done and you have found things that are working, as we're going through this, don't be afraid to jump in the chat and say, you know what, this really worked for me, or this is where I pivoted and this is what I'm using, because people are going to be seeing that. And maybe it just helps that one person go, oh, I haven't thought of that before. So be sure and chime in. We really want to know that. Thank you so much for participating in this. I think getting to hear from you, whether it's through this and a webinar or the people that I get to talk to every day, hearing the real time feedback and the challenges so that IFMA can support, I can support, we can know what's going on is really, really great. So, as we're hearing from this, again, our goal today is to give you actionable items or ideas on how to move forward and how to go from, I say procrastination. Not all of us are maybe resonate with that word. Maybe it's again being pulled in different directions. So we're kind of, juggling different challenges, or maybe it's anxiety that's preventing us from going in. But again, either way, whatever word we want to put on that, we just want to give y'all different ideas on how to move. So thank you for participating in this again. But we want to go ahead and create a clear path forward. And with that is just some advice that we want to give. I'm going to let Kim pop in and chime in wherever she has, because she is a wealth of knowledge, guys, and she has great ideas in this. But one of our first things that we want to do is, I am specifically thinking of our FMP guys. If y'all are in that, or if y'all are looking in this is kind of where I'm talking. When you enroll in this, it can feel a little overwhelming, right? There's a lot of information to absorb. We're telling you, hey, put your student hats back on. You got to dedicate some time. But we really like to take it from a big macro overview and break it down into digestible bite sizes so that you can move through this um, at a pace that doesn't feel overwhelming. Some examples of this, right, is if we look at one course, we're going to look at one course instead of four, or instead of the whole program. In that course, we're going to say, gosh, I feel a little overwhelmed with it having 6 chapters in here, but I want you to break it down even further. We're going to focus on just reading one chapter. And then, and don't worry, we're going to have all of these ideas mapped out for you after our webinar so that you can go back through and read them over. Instead of looking in that one chapter, we look at, or the one course, we're looking at chapters. We're going to set goals for ourselves, which you'll also talk about. But breaking it down is, if that one chapter has 70 pages in the chapter, we're going to just set a goal of reading 10 pages a day so that by the end of the week, we get that chapter knocked out. 10 pages a day, we're going to read 5 pages in the morning, 5 pages in the afternoon. And just taking it from being a big view to a smaller view to being able to say, I just have the goal this morning for me, or on my lunch break, to read these 5 pages. Those little things that you do add up. And by the end of the week, you're going to have a chapter knocked out for one of these courses. So that's kind of the typical ideas that I give to people as they're calling in and they're saying, man, I'm just feeling really overwhelmed.
Yeah,
Kim,
and
do you have anything to add to that?
yeah, you mentioned specifically for the FMP, and I think it could be said for any course where you look at the content, and we know here at IFMA that our training is very content rich, which is a great way to say that there's a lot of content and text to absorb. I love your idea of breaking it down. Continue to break it down until you feel that that is a comfortable, bite-sized um, piece of information that you can, excuse me, digest. You need to be able to comprehend what you're reading and not be so overwhelmed that
Mhm.
nothing gets through, a bunch of white noise is created. And as we look at creating a clear plan forward, I think, Jessica, there's a way that you help them define their goals and
Yes.
milestones.
Yes. So when we're breaking this down, and we have, I'm sorry, I accidentally hit a mute button right there. When we're breaking this down, and I tell people specifically, again, going through the FMP, hey, I want you to set the goal for yourself of reading one chapter a week and taking one quiz a week, right? Those are your two goals. Every single week. Keep those promises to yourself. Define the goal for you. I will do this. And I will get it done by this date, right? And so you keep the promise to yourself. Make sure you're checking off the list. Week one, yep, I got week one read. I passed my chapter quiz. I and now I'm moving on to chapter two. The thing that I tell people that is really fun is set the goal for yourself that at the end of that sixth chapter, right, and that's completing your course, you're going to celebrate yourself, right? We're going to celebrate those milestones. Some people like to add things in their Amazon cart, and when they finish off that sixth quiz, they order it for themselves. Some people I've heard say, you know what, I'm going to open this bottle of wine, or I'm going to take myself out to dinner because I finally finished this course. And it took a lot of concentration, and it took me saying no to something so that I could say yes to myself. So, really defining what you want to accomplish and then giving yourself that time to be able to do it, right? I'm enrolling in the FMP in January. I really want to be done in August. I really want to be done in July. And then setting what you need to set in order to get that accomplished. And then we celebrate, guys. We celebrate everything because the progress that you are making and the time that you are investing into yourself is really important to acknowledge.
I agree
Uh,
100%. I'm all about celebrating it, giving yourself a treat, whatever that may mean. And I found as you continue to do this, it becomes part of your schedule. And
mhm,
when you complete the course, you start missing those moments because those are moments you've
mhm.
actually carved out for yourself, not for anybody else. And you're doing this for yourself to be better at your job, to be ready for a promotion, to have a professional credential, whatever your goal is, celebrate. That is, I think, really important for us. And then this next one, Jessica, you have set realistic timelines.
Yes. So as we're setting goals for ourselves, guys, we're also going to give ourselves grace, right? Because I keep saying adult learners. Adult learners are my favorite kind of learners because I think it is the neatest thing when we put ourselves out there and we try different things. I went back to college as an adult. I was 29 when I said, okay, I want to go ahead and do this. And it took me 5 years, but I got it done. Or getting to see Kim go through her program, and she talked about it before and was like, oh gosh, I'm so nervous, and then she just excelled. And I think there's something really powerful and really really neat to watch people say, I'm going to take myself out of my comfort zone, and I'm going to accomplish this. We set goals, but we also set realistic timelines because we have all of these things. Life happens, right? And whether it's we do get moved into a different position in our jobs, and we have new responsibilities that take up time, or we welcome new family members into our family, or if we're in Houston, we had a snowstorm this week, which never happens. And so that, life can just throw you off and give you different challenges that you have to face. So we're realistic, and we're not going to say, I'm signing up for this and I'm finishing in 6 weeks. Like you're going to call me and I'm going to say, Kim, let's bump it back. Let's talk about what you actually have going on here. So we're going to set
Exactly. And I
achievable and realistic. Oh,
go
go
ahead.
ahead. Nope, that's
No,
okay.
no,
We're
I
just
was just going to say I may have a delay. Apologies. Technology is sometimes not our friend. When we talk about defining goals, milestones, timelines, IFMA has suggested study schedules. So there's
mhm.
going to be resources we give you. You're not going to have to do this by yourself, which is why we invited Jessica to be with us. And as we continue to create that clear plan forward, here we go. Use tools for organization. How do you mean that,
Yep.
Jessica? What have you seen?
You led right into it, Kim. So we do have that study guide, and the study guide will help you break down and really be able to see what that plan can be. You're going to use tools for organization, and this can be anything like using the reminders in your phone to say, hey, go ahead and read. It's using your calendars. If you are old school and love paper calendars, guys, I keep mine right here beside me every day to keep me on track with different things. So it's using what's in front of you. It's using the resources that we're going to give you. It's reaching out and saying, I just had an email from a guy yesterday who said, man, this really fell on the back burner and I need some help. Can you help me with this? IFMA offers virtual classes. And so sometimes that's the tool to stay organized, to have accountability, to have structure, to really walk you through this. But our study guide is something that we can send out. There's a 4-month, 6-month, and 8-month plan mapped out in there that you can say, you know what, this works for me. And it can just help you keep on track of managing, visualizing, keeping those goals in front of you so that you can get to those milestones. So, Kim, you are right on it. And the next thing is
Hmm.
employee task management. So these kind of all work within each other, guys. It is like a holistic plan for you. Employee task management can be something that's knowing how to set boundaries, right? That is saying, hey, from 6 to 7 every night, this is my study time and nothing is going to interrupt that, right? Or on my hour lunch break, I'm going to go sit in the car and this is when I'm going to go ahead and read my 5 pages, right? So it's being able to delegate some tasks that may be keeping us from being able to stay focused. Sometimes it's just turning that sign over on our doors that say, hey, I'm busy, I need some focus time. Something that I do, and personally at work that we all kind of utilize is having focus time on our calendars, and that's just being able to set time aside for yourself. That's very, very intentional, so that you can get done what needs to be done.
That's right. And also, as you're thinking about all of these tools, the training that you're taking is intended to help you in your role right now. This is not something that you're going to put into action 2 years from now. It's very specific to facility management and supporting you. So this, if you don't start this and you're not going through it, you could actually be denying yourself some additional tools and resources and knowledge that would be really helpful. And I love this last
Mhm.
one. You touched on it earlier,
Yeah.
Jessica, about scheduling those reminders, but utilize your calendar, uh,
Yes.
whether it's paper or digital, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I tell everybody make a date with yourself, right? And so
I,
you're going to make a date and you're going to keep your date. You're not going to stand yourself up. And so put it on your calendar. Again, this can be if you find time, during your workday on your commute home. I didn't get to touch on this before, or maybe I have it set up for later. But guys, there are extensions on computers. There are apps that you can use that will read PDFs to you, and so that can be a tool that you can use. I like Speechify. And so if you have it set on your calendar that you're going to listen to books on the way home on your commute, then put that on your calendar and keep that date with yourself to get through the material. But it's making sure that you keep the promise to yourself and you don't stand yourself up, right? So investing
exactly.
in you is a form of self-care. Investing in your future, investing in your knowledge, education is something that I am passionate about. And all of these things, this plan that we're giving you, it is to better yourself, better your knowledge, better your career, better your life. And so it's really just implementing what makes sense for you and adding in the others as you go, so that you can find success with it. So,
Fantastic. And we've set the plan. We're
yep.
setting goals. We're setting bite-sized pieces that we can accomplish and then celebrate. How do we, though, maintain that motivation? Because we
Mhm.
could start off super strong and I'm going to do everything that Jessica recommended, and then real life sets in. How do we
Right.
maintain?
Maintaining is the hardest part. Again, it's that New Year's resolution, and then a week later, you're trying to get out of bed to get to that gym, and it's hard, right? So, connecting your goals to values. This is your why. Why did we sign up for this? Why did we initially have the idea of I want to go ahead and do this for myself? Is it because you're looking for that promotion? Is it because like IFMA, you're looking to leave the world a better place? Is it a different personal goal for you? So it's having that why, writing it down somewhere where you can see it. When I was, again, going back through college, and I went through one of our training programs myself, it's taking that and sticking it somewhere you can see it, right? So that you don't lose sight of what your goal was. We do have the parameters of how long you are given to complete your training, and we do have to abide by those. And so you want to make sure that you're maintaining that motivation so that you can fit it within those parameters and those borders that we're giving you. I often hear from people who got busy and who said, I ran out of time, or I didn't really know what to do. And so we're making plans with them daily. If you're struggling, I tell everybody, please don't struggle. Just reach out to us. If you've lost that motivation, it's not too late to get it back, right? It's not too
Hmm.
late to remember your why and connect your goals back to those values and accomplishing this. So I don't ever want y'all to feel like it's too late to hop back out and
Yeah.
and get through your training and your credential.
That's right. Start it back up again. And I like this
Mhm.
next one. And I do want to remind people when we send you a follow up with the slide deck, it's going to be a slide deck that has more text on it.
Yes.
We didn't want to put a bunch of
Mhm.
text there. We really wanted you to connect with what Jessica is saying and hearing it,
Mhm.
but we will send it so you can read back through it again. Here you have visualized success. What to you does that mean? How would you describe that to someone that you're helping?
Well, Kim, when we put this down, I actually thought about you because Kim always says, make sure you know what you're looking for, down the road. Picture what you look like as you're finishing this. Picture yourself, visualize yourself at the completion of this. And then you make it happen. And so it's just keeping that idea of, gosh, when I'm done with this, I'm going to be so proud of myself. And I'm going to have letters behind my name, and I'm going to be able to help people. And if there's people leaving comments in here of their success stories, I get to be one of those guys, and really help others in the FM profession coming up. So it's just the idea of you're writing all these plans down, you're speaking it into existence, or whatever you want to say there, and it's just being able to see yourself at the finish line as you're working towards it.
Yeah, I like that. I like that because you can see yourself putting it on your LinkedIn profile. You can see
Mm-hmm.
yourself sharing it with your team, which I did when I passed my course.
You did.
It was amazing. It was the best feeling. And to see that success is something that will help you maintain your motivation when maybe it starts sliding a little bit. Well, I like this one, pure accountability.
Peer accountability, guys, this is probably the most important one to me. You do not have to go through this alone. You can have as many people as you can find who is cheering you on, whether that is a coworker who's going through it with you, whether that is reaching out to me. I send out emails all the time of saying, hey, Kim, it's been 3 months. How it's going? Hey, you're halfway through. What's going on? Do you need any help? Just having those periodic check-ins, whether it's through IFMA or through a coworker, or you have that peer accountability through your partner or friend, having that person check in on you and having that checkpoint through it is probably one of the things that I've seen with the people who are most successful going through this. So have if you don't have a person right now, even if they're not, in the FM world, just say, "Hey, John, I'm going through this and I really need somebody to check in with me monthly and say, how are you on that?" And hold me accountable and text me that week and say, "Did you get your reading done?" And I think it's super helpful to have that person beside you, or that group of people beside you as you walk through this.
I like it. We don't really want to, I think sometimes we are more willing to disappoint ourselves than we are to
Mhm.
disappoint others. And that's where accountability can come into play because Like if you don't know that maybe I haven't vacuumed in 2 weeks, I'm okay with that. I'm good, am I really tracking in that much? But when you know somebody's coming over, that's when you kind of go into busy mode and you get things cleaned up. It's a little bit like that. We're willing to accept it of ourselves, but we want to uphold what we say we're going to do when we've told somebody else, "Hey, this is what I'm doing." And it'll help you read that chapter if you're supposed to have completed it and taken that quiz to make sure that you're on the right path. So peer accountability can come
Absolutely.
in so many different forms and people, right? So
Absolutely.
that looks like, and I'm not going to go to that slide right now, guys. I think we
We
actually
were
have.
just giving out presents.
I know you're going to have to wait for that present. So if you were paying attention to our slide, you did see we will have a discount code available for you. But right now, we want to take a moment, go back through the comments and the questions that have shared, and bring Gail and Starlin back. So Jack, I can't remember if we're going to have a slide or we may just be going where it's just the four of us. But when Gail and Starlin come in, we are going to start taking a look at questions. Thanks. Welcome back.
Hey, thanks.
Hey,
Wonderful job, ladies.
ladies.
That was fantastic to watch and some really great resources shared. So thank you so much for doing that. I really enjoyed being able to watch the comments coming in on YouTube and LinkedIn and seeing everyone interact. So I'm excited to see some of the questions coming through.
All right, fantastic. Was there one that struck, Starlin, we'll start with you. Was there a question that you saw come through that you would like to bring up here?
Yes. So, right kind of towards the beginning, Stephen shared that one of the hardest things for him was terminology. And when he attended a couple of the online courses, found himself struggling to keep up with conversations and felt like he was falling
Mm.
behind. So,
Mhm.
Jessica, do you think that some of the online resources, potentially maybe the flashcards or something, might be kind of the right direction to head in there?
Absolutely. So on Stephen, on a training dashboard, and I actually feel like I recognize your name. So if I do and you know me, hey there. But we have the interactive flashcards and the printable flashcards on your training dashboard that people like to do and play memory with. And so they'll play the games, print them out, have the interactive ones. So that may be something that you can use if terminology is something that you're struggling with.
I like
I
that.
liked where oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, Gail.
I was gonna say I liked where Erica shared that this is a marathon, not a sprint. Just keeping in
Ooh,
mind that it
good,
does seem
Erica.
overwhelming at first, but setting up time for yourself, not standing yourself up, as Jessica mentioned earlier, whenever you do
Mhm.
schedule that time for yourself, is going to help you keep your eye on that prize and complete the training. So that's a really
Mhm.
great analogy. It's not a marathon, it's a marathon, not a sprint.
And I see another piece of advice from Erica about the local chapter. When we talk
Mhm.
about peer accountability, sometimes it's also having a support system and having a shared experience with people that you can network with in person on an ongoing basis. I love that about IFMA. We really are not just about education, but also networking and best practice sharing. And Erica, I love your suggestion here because if you haven't seen something from your local chapter, or even some of our councils will have something. I
Mhm.
know the Airport Facility Council will put on some training for their members. Reach out and say, I'm really interested in this. And maybe that would be a good opportunity for you to volunteer with your chapter and say, I'd like to kind of lead this. I bet there's more people in the chapter who would be interested in maybe pursuing their FMP or using resources more efficiently. The SFP gives a lot of great tools. For those of you who are very strong in your foundational knowledge, I encourage you to think about the SFP, especially if you're waiting to make sure you meet eligibility requirements for the CFM. Always challenge yourself to keep learning. So, Erica, thank you for that.
Yeah, that's a great
I
one.
see something from Claudia. Let me bring this up. So Claudia says, as a routine, traveling by train, it's more than 30 minutes. She'll take that opportunity to learn new things about personal development or FM. And I love that suggestion,
I love
Claudia.
it. Mhm.
Yeah, use the time where you've got not a whole lot more to do. I know if you live in a large metropolitan area and you take trains or you're in a car, listening, Jessica, I think was one thing that
Yes.
you had said.
Yes, I listen to everything. So that is such a good thing to do. I see a comment. I'm not exactly sure how to put it up here, but Sherry says, when working on her CFM, I gathered others in my chapter to form a study group. And so, again, utilizing that community and forming those study groups is a really great way to have other people walking alongside you as you go through this. That accountability is everything, guys. That's something that I will push every single day.
And I just want to say, Jessica, that community, as you mentioned, is very important if you're looking for accountability. And there are various ways, as you've seen people mention, that the IFMA chapters are one way. We also have the
Hmm.
virtual courses as another way. If you want to get connected, please reach out to us. We know
Yes.
if we can't connect you, we will find a way to get you there. And so please reach out to us, corporate connections at ifma.org, and we will be happy to get you into a community of peers who are working through the same things that you are working through, struggling with the same work life balance that you're struggling with, so that you can find somebody to connect with to work through this together with.
Yeah, Jack, could we please put the email address up there for corporate connections, just so it scrolls across the screen for a moment? Oh, look at that. Get in touch. Yes, learn
Yes.
more. Contact us. The team you see here, Gail and Starlin, they can help you figure out what is your starting point. Where do you need to go? We also, if you're like, I don't have time to talk to people, we have a QR code that we had shown earlier about the career compass. If you want us to just point you in that direction, corporate connections, we've got more folks that monitor the inbox to make sure that we are, thank you, Jack, that we are able to respond to you and help get you where you need to be. And then Jessica, she's got a great team member, Marissa, who also helps. Once you're enrolled, if you have questions, let us know. Early on in the presentation, we brought up the fact that you have a starting date, which is what the date that you enroll, but that means there is an end date. Let's face it, if you didn't have like a cutoff period, I think some people would just let it go. We find out too often that for the FMP, if you purchase the bundle, you have 2 years. Should not take you anywhere near 2 years. You can successfully complete this in 4 months. So 2 years is to give you that cushion in case life happens and you get thrown a curveball. And then you can come back and you have time, you have access to the materials. If you hit the 2 years and you haven't touched it, that means procrastination was not your friend. And I think all three of you have probably spoken with folks that were in that position.
Absolutely.
Yes.
It's very common for it to get away from people. So if that's happened to you, don't feel bad. It's not You're not the only person, and we
Right.
do have solutions for you to help if you have expired or you are expiring soon. Again, please reach out to the team. We can help get you on the right path. Jessica and Marissa she's another great resource we have on our training support team. They are fantastic at helping people get back on track and utilize some of the things that they've talked about today in this presentation to help motivate yourself and go ahead and get through it. So please, again, corporate connections at ifma.org. Reach out. We want to help you guys finish, not just get started and get into a credential, but finish, complete, and become the FMP, SFP, or CFM that you are working towards.
Exactly. Oh, I love this. I hope you don't mind us sharing. Thank goodness. I was planning to start this last January. It's never too late. And you're not alone. Sorry, I think we're all kind of clicking on that. You're not alone. And just get started. And then that's why, IFMA is extremely, we are dedicated to helping you be successful. This is not
Mm,
where we want you to enroll in something and then we don't care if you finish it or not. Our
mm-mm,
whole association is about developing and advancing the FM profession. And the best way to do that is with incredible facility management professionals who are making a difference, who are having their voice be heard, getting a seat at the table, and saying, guys, you need to include me when you are talking about how you want to change the facility, if you're setting performance goals for this facility, if there
Mm.
are challenges, if you need to reconfigure, if you're planning a new building, let me be a part of that because engineers are great, architects are wonderful, interior designers are fantastic. They make everything look great. But if you're going to operate and maintain that facility and protect the asset and let people be able to do the role in that facility that they are supposed to be doing, you don't include the FM, you're there's going to be some issues. And we've heard the stories, we've seen it, and so this is where complete what you set out to do. You are facility managers. You do that every day for your facilities. We're just saying, here's how you can do it for yourself. So as we kind of teased before, there is a discount code. If we could move to that slide. Great. Starlin, do you want to talk about this?
Sure. So these are going to be a little treat for joining us today. These are discount codes that you can use to purchase either a course or a credential bundle. Your Goals 50 and Your Goals 100. Please feel free to scan the QR code there. This can also be entered in on fm.training. Once you add the course or credential bundle to your cart, you will have a space to enter in that code so that you can utilize that and get a discount to be able to go ahead and get started on your credential or course of your choice. So thank you so much for joining us today, everyone. Jessica, absolute fantastic job. We loved having you as our special guest. She is, as I mentioned, our training support manager. So if you guys have any questions that you didn't get to ask, please reach out. We will get you taken care of. But until next time, we hope you have a wonderful rest of your January, and we'll talk to you soon.
Bye.